robust conversation. I'm one of the aldermen that actually voted in favor of creating this process because I believe we needed a reset. And I hope that you can steer your colleagues to some normalcy and sanity, because what they are going to do is going to reverberate for years, either with the continuation of this process or its dissolution. They continue to put politics over public safety. Thank you.
Alderwoman Tavares.
Good evening, everybody. Silvana Tavares with the 23rd Ward. Again, I want to thank the CCPSA commissioners for coming again to Kennedy High School. They were here 3 years ago. They also had a hearing 3 years ago to call for a search for a superintendent as well. So I want to thank them again for coming out here to the Southwest side and hearing what we have to say. There are a lot of important issues here on the Southwest side that we have been advocating for: a new police district, shot spotter, and making sure that police street takeovers is another issue. So we want a police superintendent that's not going to neglect the Southwest side, that's going to stand up for the issues that we care about, like I mentioned, and making sure that our communities are safe. Number one, important, and supporting our police and making sure that they're doing what they're doing to support the law and enforce the law. And I know we have some police officers here from the 8th District. Want to thank them for everything that they do. The 8th District is one of the biggest districts in the city of Chicago. It's one of the leading districts for 911 calls, so we don't get quick response time when we call 911, and no one should have to wait when we call 911 to get police to respond to our crime issue. I'm also a strong supporter of Sandra Wortham and the work that she's doing with the CCPSA, and strongly support her staying on board representing the CCPSA. She is a Gold Star family. She is there and supports the work that the Gold Star family does. She's there to support the Gold Star families. But I want to thank you for always coming out here and supporting and being present in our neighborhood and the Garfield Ridge community, because you've been out here not too long ago, earlier this year, when we had to talk about traffic stops. And we spoke about that and making sure that police are doing our traffic stops here in the community. So again, thank you. I want to thank all the residents who have come here tonight. I really encourage you guys to voice your concerns on what the leadership you want to see on the next police superintendent for the city of Chicago. So thank you.
All right. Thank you again, Alderman Lopez, Alderwoman Tavares, for those remarks. And now it is your turn. So we will call the first 3 speakers to the microphone here. That is Julia Henry, Kathy Carone, and Tracy Ellis.
Good evening. Thank you for coming into our district. My main concern is we never see any police patrolling in the neighborhood. We have a lot of young kids. We have a lot of stop signs that are not obeyed. There's wanderers in and out, so I'd like to see that for safety, and you need visibility, for the neighborhood to feel a little safer. That's it. Thank you. And yes, to Tavares, I would say yes to the 911 calls, because I actually believe my mother-in-law died because we didn't get a quick response. It took them over 20 minutes to come from the coroner here to the house and another 15 to leave from when they got her outside. By the time we got to the hospital, she was in distress, had passed away almost immediately. So yeah, to the 911 calls. Thank you.
I second what older people said. I'm concerned with, of course, getting a new police district. We need more police officers in our neighborhood. And as far as the traffic stops go to running the red lights on our trail, 63rd Street, it's it's like common nature now. You just have to wait till her light's been green for 5 seconds before you start to go, because you know the car's gonna come through. And maybe if they start getting tickets for doing that, put up red lights, red light cameras, the kids are all back in school now. I think it's a dangerous situation. And also like somebody that's gonna enforce the law. I don't remember what I said. That's all.
Hi, I'm Tracy Ellis. First of all, I want to thank our CPD for all that they do, this, and they put their lives on. Thank you, guys. What I'd like to see in the superintendent is somebody who has proven crime fighting leadership, strong understanding of gangs, guns, and narcotics, or organized crimes and repeat offenders. Understand what officers deal with every day and make them accountable when they don't do right, but also stand behind them when they are put in a position that they need the support of the superintendent. And to be visible in the communities, and like Savannah was saying, you know, the South Side we are forgotten sometimes. So be in the community, and you know, and then crisis management skills. But the main thing is to be able to stand up to Brandon Johnson and don't let him bully and make it sound like these teen takeovers are just kids out having fun, or these street takeovers. That's not fun. That's violence. And I want somebody who will stand up for people who work hard every day and have to deal with all this stuff going on in the city. So that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you to our first three speakers. Our next three speakers are Jennifer New. And I think we have, unless we have two Jennifer News, we have a duplicate. So Jennifer New, Megan Curry, and Laura Kevin. Got those right.
Hey, my name is Laura Kevin. I'm in the 23rd Ward, East Police District. Thank you very much for coming out and listening to us. Thank you to the aldermen and all the other Al and also the CPD for all that they do. I guess the main thing is separating politics from public safety. They really are two totally separate things, and public safety is basic governance. I suppose the main issue for me is staffing. Post-COVID, you can really see, as some of the other residents have mentioned, there just is not a presence. And I think that's just because the numbers are at a historic low than what they used to be. And so to be able to see the cops just doing their regular patrols, it sends a message that, you know, that there's a tone that people are watching. And I think it also makes people feel safe. And of course, you know, what I'm looking for in the next superintendent, of course, is, you know, leadership and integrity, accountability, transparency, you know, all of those things that you want in a good leader. You know, Chicago, grew up, been in the city now for 15 years, but, you know, lifelong in the Chicagoland area. And of course, you know, Chicago has its work cut out for it. And so I just appreciate these opportunities when residents can come and we have folks like you that can listen, and then we can try to make a difference and just kind of move forward. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, Megan Curry. I'm a resident of the 8th District, and in full transparency, I also work the 8th District. First, I'd like to thank you, Commissioner Terry, for still continuing for Commissioner Wortham to still sit beside you. It means a great deal to us as department members to see somebody who is, it's not a taking sides issue. It's simply a way of knowing that somebody also is seeing things in a different light, and it's a different opinion perhaps than the rest of your commission. So I would like to say thank you, and thank you again to Commissioner Wortham.
I guess I just have more of a question. I don't know if you can respond. And it may be better directed to our, alder people. The way that this process is set up, you have to give a name to the mayor by, I believe, November 12th. That's the 120 days. Mayor Johnson hasn't even announced reelection yet. So you are giving him a name that he has to choose from. And that has to be done within 30 days, if my understanding is right of this ordinance. So now we have somebody who may not even be running for reelection, choosing our superintendent. This person works at the behest of the mayor. We've seen it in other cities, just like Seattle recently, where that police they don't call it a superintendent, that police commissioner was recently let go. So what exactly are we doing to ensure that there's a continuity in place, that somebody is going to be selected and they might not be working for the actual mayor who does take charge in February or April of next year? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I want to thank you ladies for being here tonight to listen to our concerns. My name is Jennifer New. I'm the organizer of Prayer in the Park. I also serve on the faith-based subcommittee for our 8th District Police Department. Since the last time I spoke here, I've continued to meet and volunteer with too many families that have lost their children and loved ones to gun violence in Chicago. I've also continued to host vigils for our Chicago police officers killed in the line of duty. I believe it's important that our next superintendent is one that will hold our police officers accountable, but will prevent them from being made scapegoats. One who will stand up to the multiple organizations full of people who have never served on a police force, but are making policies that hinder our officers from efficiently doing their jobs, such as reinstating ShotSpotter, amongst other tools that are no longer available to assist our officers. A superintendent who will prioritize the safety of law-abiding citizens over criminals running rampant in our streets. A superintendent who sees the absurdity of our mayor having more officers staffed to him than some of our districts. For our immediate community, I would like to see a superintendent who understands the importance of getting another district here in our neighborhood so that we can be properly staffed. Citywide, we want a superintendent who has lived in and worked in Chicago, one who knows the streets and the communities and has a love for the job and not just ambition for moving rank. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to that group of speakers. Our next three speakers are Kelly Myers, Miriam Galvin, pardon me if I got that wrong, and Robert Russo.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for today. My name is Kelly Myers. I'm a resident of the 23rd Ward, a lifelong resident of the 8th District. Some of my concerns really ditto what we've already heard. One of them has a lot to do with police staffing. I know that that's not necessarily the superintendent's job, but the city's hiring practices to hire X number of officers doesn't justify or meet up with the number of officers that we're losing. Whether it be retirement or they're leaving the department for other reasons. So that's a huge concern of mine, although it doesn't necessarily affect the superintendent. I do also feel that our district sometimes is left behind. There are other areas in the city obviously that may have more significant, if that's the right word, crime, to where our lesser crimes, if that's the right terminology, sometimes neglected. So we don't have that 911 response here in the city. One crime is not less or more than any other. But most importantly, in the superintendent position, Superintendent Snelling, I got to know him personally. It's Larry. He was wonderful and I feel wonderful in the police morale and lifting up that within the department. I lost my husband to suicide, in 2022. He was the 7th officer that year to die by suicide. So the mental health, the morale, the canceled days off, just the overall support from the superintendent down to our officers, I think is significant. And I think that that's something that Larry did. I felt it as a suicide survivor, the personal touch that he gave our families, and seeing what he did with the officers that we did encounter. So that is huge on my bucket list, is to make sure that the officers from patrol to the superintendent himself is careful. And I just think that Larry did a really good job at that.
Good evening. All I have to say is that as you're looking for someone qualified, that you look seriously at someone who has lived here in Chicago, who has worked here in Chicago, to say to Chicago and Illinois that we have qualified, well-qualified people within our city and will take it more seriously. And that's my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Bob Russo, a lifetime resident of Garfield Ridge and also the district. I believe that a national search for a new superintendent is totally unnecessary. I believe Larry Snelling, and I'm not CPD, but I believe that Larry Snelling should be the role model for the selection of a new superintendent. And I believe the new superintendent should come from the ranks of the Chicago Police Department. Obviously, Larry Snelling had the respect of his fellow officers. I think the entire city of Chicago recognized his ability, and I'm sure that there's many qualified individuals in the Chicago Police Department who can do an equal or better job than Larry Snelling.
Thank you.
Before we go to the next speaker, I just want to check, do we have any online comments? So the next speaker we have is District Counselor Robert McKay.
Good evening. I'm from District 5. I'm Robert McKay, elected chairman of our district. And I did what the gentleman that spoke of. The next superintendent should be, well, in fact, Snelling should be a role model for that gentleman, whoever you select, or woman, whoever you select. However, when we look at the Snelling, Superintendent Snelling has done a enormous job and his tenure as superintendent. However, one of the reasons why we exist as district councils and throughout the city in the 22 police districts is the consent decree, and we get different mixed messages on the compliance of that consent decree. The latest I heard was that there were 22% compliant after 7 years, and well, the first 5 years you were only 1% compliant. And we look at that as being a negligence or disregard for the public, because that was put in purpose, and the order came out from the courts for a reason, for a purpose to decrease or suspend the actions of police shooting people in the back, or the excuse of I fear for my life, and the marginalizations of certain communities when you have resources taken away from certain communities, especially in the Black communities, and given away in our school systems. I'm just skipping over because I have 2 minutes, right? So I'm getting 20 seconds. However, when we, the consent decree, once that's complied with, we assure that the process of them adhering to the contents of that will reduce the crimes from the police, and also increase the association and better association from the public with the police department. So my time is up. Thank you.
Online? No. So I do want to give an opportunity, if you have not already spoken, and you would like to share your thoughts. We do want to welcome you to share. It looks like we have someone who is making their way.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you to commissioners for coming. I really appreciate that. I sit on the nominating committee and I nominated both of you because I knew how intelligent both of you were to listen of all sides. And I hope we can make the other commissioners understand this is a big city. Thank you all for coming tonight. Give yourself a big hand. I think you two commissioners can understand what the southwest side of Chicago is looking for. I do also agree that our next superintendent should come from within. Let's not waste our time looking outside the box. We can get into what we need. I think you've heard the residents, but we're a voice. We've got great aldermen that represent us, and their voice will be heard. So I just want to thank you two ladies. You're awesome. Keep up the hard work. And Sandra, you're going nowhere. We're going to make sure. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Just for the record, because we read out the names of everyone else who spoke, that was District Councilor Al Capitola. I know you all know that, but just because we have a video here, we want to be sure that all of our speakers are recognized.
And if you're coming to speak and we do not have your slip, please say your name for the record. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and again, thank you, commissioners, for coming out, hearing what we have to say. My name is Jay Derby. I'm in the 8th district. And I think one thing that I want to see from our police commissioner is not someone who works for the mayor, someone who works for us. Someone who works with the mayor, representing all the people of Chicago. The other thing I want our police commissioner to do is to take back our streets. From vandals to taggers to street takeovers, everything throughout the whole city. Take it over and do what you have to do to take it over. I want him also to work with commissions or whoever to take the handcuffs off our policemen so that they put the handcuffs on the right people.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Garcia. I'm a resident of the 23rd Ward, 8th Police District. Something I'm really looking for in a police superintendent is investing in the Chicago Care Team that we have here in Chicago. For those of you that don't know, we have a Chicago Care Team, which is basically a team of 4 vans, right, that work on weekdays from about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. that respond to mental health emergencies. This helps lessen the load for the 911 calls that have some violence, have something aggressive, for the police officers to go ahead and actually do that. This is a pilot program. It is only available during the weekdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's the accidents that happen after that time and out of those timeframes. And I would really want a police superintendent that actually invests in resources like the Chicago Care Team. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like an opportunity to speak? Anyone online?
No.
All right. So I would like to thank you all for joining us tonight. Your feedback is critically important to our work. To stay updated on the search, visit our website, We have a page dedicated to the superintendent search where you can fill out our feedback form. The commission's next regular meeting will be Thursday, August 27th, my apology, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. at Morgan Park High School, 1744 West Pryor Avenue, Chicago 60643. This is a change of location if you were looking at our previous flyer. So please make sure Morgan Park High School, 1744 West Pryor Avenue. The meeting had been previously scheduled at Morgan Park Academy. And at the end of that, taking care of our business, we will be having another listening session. So again, if you have residents, friends, family who were not able to come out tonight, that will be another opportunity to be heard. So we encourage you to attend. Also, the following are the dates and locations of the additional superintendent listening sessions. September 2nd at 6:30, we will be at DePaul College Prep, 3300 North Campbell Avenue. And September 10th at 6:30, it will be a virtual session. So individuals who may not be able to come in person, they will be similar to this meeting, be able to participate virtually, and that is the case for the meeting on Thursday as well. So if the individuals are not able to attend in person, all of our meetings are available virtually, and this meeting is being recorded and will be hosted on our website. So please stay connected with us. Please fill out the feedback form. Please share with others to encourage them to participate in this process. And I do, Commissioner Worthing, if you have anything before we close out?
Very repetitive, but I'm just gonna say it again. This process really only works the way it's supposed to if we hear from all Chicagoans. So please tell a neighbor, please tell a friend, call them, email them. We truly want to hear from everyone from the diversity of Chicago. So, Thursday, we'll be right back at it at the end of our meeting. You feel free to come out again, even if you were here, but that, I think we would both agree, like, this only works if we hear from everyone. So that would just be what I would close with. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you. Have a good evening. And safe travels.
Like few minutes of nothingness.